Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more details videos. What Coco Gauff said to Venus Williams at the net after beating her at Wimbledon as a 15-year-old. Coco Gauff has come a long way since beating Venus Williams at Wimbledon. In 2019, 15-year-old Coco Gauff stunned tennis fans across the world by beating five-time Wimbledon ladies singles champion Venus Williams to win her first-round match at SW19. Gauff, who was recently labeled as the biggest star in tennis, has gone on to become a two-time Grand Slam champion. The American won her maiden slam at the 2023 U.S. Open before capturing the 2025 French Open title. Venus Williams, now 45 years of age, will suit up for her first WTA Tour level match in 16 months after accepting a wild card invitation to compete at the Washington Open. Venus last played at the 2024 Miami Open, where she lost to Diana Schneider in the first round. Williams' stunning comeback represents the dogged determination she holds, while contrasting the relative youth of some of her prospective opponents. As Williams attempts to make a comeback, it is worth taking a closer look at her historic match against Coco Gauff in 2019. Coco Gauff thanked Venus Williams for being an inspiration. Gauff, who was ranked 313 in the world at the time, spoke candidly at her post-match press conference, despite the enormity of what she had achieved. At the post-match press conference, it was put to Gauff that she seemed almost apologetic when speaking to Venus at the net following her victory. Gauff said, "I wasn't apologizing. I was just telling her thank you for everything that she's done for the sport, and she's been an inspiration for many people, and I was just really telling her thank you." Gauff was then told by a reporter that Serena Williams had commented, saying the young American reminded her of Venus. Gauff responded, "Oh yes, I definitely get compared to Venus a lot. Our body shape is kind of the same. We're both tall, obviously play similar. But when I'm on the court, I just feel like me." Coco Gauff's round of 16 run at Wimbledon 2019. Coco Gauff's run at Wimbledon 2019 did not end with victory over Venus Williams. After defeating Williams, Gauff comfortably defeated 2017 Wimbledon semi-finalist Magdalena Rybarikova, winning by a scoreline of 6-3, 6-3. Wimbledon 2019 round. Opponent. Score. Round 1. Venus Williams. 1-6 to 4-6 to 4. Round 2. Magdalena Rybarikova. 1-6 to 3-6 to 3. Round 3. Polona Hercog. 1-3 to 6-7 to 6, 9-7, 7-5. Round 4. Simona Halep. Lost 3-6, 3-6. Gauff then foreshadowed her developing grit and determination by saving 2 match points to defeat Polona Hercog. 3-6-7 to 6-7-5. The victory was particularly impressive because Gauff came back from the brink of defeat at 5-2 down in the second set. However, Gauff ran into Simona Halep in the fourth round. The Romanian star won 6-3, 6-3 before going on to win the Wimbledon title that year, after defeating Serena Williams in the final. The grass was still glistening with dew that July afternoon in 2019 when the center court at Wimbledon stood still, stunned and silent. It was round 1, yet the world had just witnessed a seismic shift. 15-year-old Coco Gauff, a qualifier ranked 313th in the world, had just beaten five-time Wimbledon champion Venus Williams, a player nearly 4 times her age and one of her lifelong idols. But it wasn't just the scoreline of 6-4, 6-4 that etched itself into tennis history. It was what happened after the match, at the net, when nerves and dreams collided, that defined the soul of the moment. Chapter 1. The Girl Who Dared to Dream. Coco Gauff had grown up with posters of the Williams sisters on her bedroom wall. In Delray Beach, Florida, her father, Coco Gauff, trained her on cracked public courts with Venus and Serena's legacy burning like a torch in his hands. They weren't just players. They were blueprints. She knew what it meant to be a young black girl in tennis. She knew what Venus and Serena had shattered: barriers, expectations, stereotypes. She wasn't just chasing titles. She was chasing a dream they had made possible. When the Wimbledon draw came out and Venus Williams versus Coco Gauff blinked back from the screen, Coco stared at it in disbelief. "Mom," she whispered, I got Venus. Chapter 2. Eyes on the Queen. Gauff wasn't supposed to win. She was supposed to admire, learn, and maybe walk away with a game or two. But there was something different in her gaze. Not fear, but reverence mixed with fire. She didn't just come to watch Venus play. She came to compete. With each forehand winner and confident serve, Gauff told the world that she didn't care about odds. She was here to write her name, even if it meant doing so against the woman who inspired her. Venus, elegant and composed as ever, fought like a champion. But that day, the torch passed, not ceremoniously, but quietly, in the kind of match where legends realize their legacy has bloomed in someone else. Chapter 3. The moment at the net. As the final ball sailed long off Venus' racket, the crowd erupted. Gauff dropped her racket and covered her face in shock. Then came the long walk to the net. Venus stood there with grace, her shoulders proud, eyes locked on the teenager she had unknowingly mentored for years. And then Coco spoke. "Thank you for everything you've done," she said softly, trying to steady her breath. "I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you." Venus smiled faintly. "Congratulations. Keep going." There were no dramatic speeches, no scripted sound bites. Just a genuine moment between two generations, the past and the future, meeting briefly at the net of time. Later, Coco would explain. "I told her thank you for everything she's done. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. I was just telling her she's so inspiring, and I always wanted to tell her that." Chapter 4. The Reverberation. The image of that handshake circled the globe. Analysts raved about Gauff's poise, athleticism, and potential. But fans, especially young girls of color, saw something else. They saw possibility. Because Venus had once stood alone on that same center court decades earlier, braids flying, critics doubting, racism looming. And now, here stood Coco, fearless, unbreakable, brilliant, not just surviving, but thriving. The baton had been passed with dignity and grace. Chapter 5. The Echo years later. In the years that followed, Coco Gauff climbed the rankings, collected titles, became a Grand Slam champion. But whenever the media asked her about her breakthrough moment, she didn't hesitate. "That match against Venus, that changed everything," she often said. "Not just because I won, but because of what it meant to me." She admitted later that she had rehearsed the words she would say to Venus, not because she expected to win, but because she wanted her childhood hero to know she mattered. "I had watched that woman my entire life," Coco said in a later interview. "To look her in the eye and say thank you, that was bigger than winning." Chapter 6. Venus Reflects. Years later, a reporter asked Venus if she remembered what Coco said to her that day. She smiled gently. "Of course I do. It was a beautiful moment. She said thank you, and I could feel how much it meant to her," Venus replied. "But what she didn't realize is how proud I was of her. To see someone that young, that confident, that ready. That's what we fought for." She paused. "People talk about legacies. Mine isn't just trophies. It's Coco." Chapter 7. The loop comes full circle. At the 2023 U.S. Open, Coco Gauff lifted her first Grand Slam trophy. Cameras flashed, tears flowed, and she pointed skyward before falling to her knees. Later in her speech, she said, "Thank you to Venus and Serena for paving the way. You guys are the reason why I have this trophy. They let me believe in this dream." The crowd roared. Somewhere in the stands, Venus watched with a smile. No longer the center of the moment, but always its foundation. Chapter 8. What it meant. In that simple phrase at the net. "Thank you for everything you've done. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you." Coco Gauff wasn't just showing gratitude. She was anchoring herself in a lineage. She was the echo of a revolution Venus started. She was proof that progress in sport isn't just measured by speed, rankings, or power, but by the dreams that outlive generations. That moment at the net wasn't just the changing of the guard. It was the meeting of a dream fulfilled and a dream just beginning. Epilogue beyond the lines. When young players today step onto the court wearing beads in their hair, fierce determination in their eyes, and a serene forehand in their swing, they carry history. But some carry a memory, too, of a teenage girl at Wimbledon who looked her hero in the eyes and simply said, "Thank you." In the hush of that netside moment, a whisper became a legacy. And Coco Gauff, once the girl who dreamed, became the woman who inspires.